Now, again, you ask me, what the heck does this do with finding happiness? Okay? It's very simple. Okay? In this dualistic reality that we live in, there's a couple of different things. Okay? There's a couple of different dualistic pairs that we need to pay attention to. Okay? Love and fear. Unity, separation. Compassion, condemnation. Acceptance, judgment. Flow, resistance. What do we got? We got freedom, control. We've got truth, and we've got lies. Lies, all lies. Anyway, so this is what we call source, or God, or whatever. This is what we call ego. Okay? All that is ego. Ego is the opposite of God. It's the absence of source. Okay? So, again, getting back to duality and relativity, we need to know ourselves as love by understanding fear. We need to know ourselves as all one by understanding separation. This is why we come into the physical universe, so that we can experience separation. Okay? We don't understand what compassion is without condemnation. Again, if everything is light, there is no darkness. You can't understand what light is. You need darkness to understand what light is. Otherwise, it's just always light, right? If everything is love, love has no meaning without experiencing that. Okay, so what we're really looking for is we're looking for the experience of what we're not, so that we can go, that doesn't quite feel right. Let's move our way back into alignment with who we really are. So every single person, because everybody is love, everybody is a piece of source, right? It's a as they say, you are of God, you are made of love. Everybody wants this. Source and love, God is love, love is God. Source and love are one and the same. So if you ever hear me say it's all about love and the ego, is it love or is it ego? Right? It's the same thing. It's just saying, are you source, or are you in alignment with source, or are you in alignment with your ego? And ego, source is love at 100%. Ego is source at 0%. Right? So it's the absence of source. Now, if you notice that the world, everything that we've created so far, has elements of the ego in it. Okay? Our religions are based in fear, separation, condemnation, judgment. Our political structures are based in fear, separation, condemnation, judgment. There's other one on here that I like to put on here. Equality. And superiority. If I can spell superiority. Okay? So, you have education based around separation, superiority, etc., etc. You have religions that are based in control, condemnation, judgment, fear. You have political structures which are based in separation, superiority, all that sort of stuff. You have our athletics. All of our athletics is about beating the other guy. You're separate from the other guy and you're trying to prove your superiority, right? So everything, if you examine our entire societies, it's based out of the ego. And the ego is 0% of source, right? So if you're trying to create something, you can create it out of the ego. It's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. We've been doing it for thousands of years, right? The problem is look at the world. Look at the way the world is. Everybody has this idea of who they should be, right? And that idea is based out of the ego, because that's what we're taught from a very young age, from our parents and our society. We're taught to be separate. We're taught to try and figure out how to be superior to the next guy, how to win at everything, how to beat the other guy. We want to judge other people and condemn other people, right? We want to say that we're right and they're wrong, right? So much of what we're doing is based in this. Now, the interesting thing is if you look at the world, you'll see that in our societies, the move is always, always, always back to source. That's what we're trying to do. So if you look at all the movements over the last couple hundred years, in America especially, because America is a wonderful example of duality. This is, if you want to say separation, it's also duality, dualistic thinking, duality, right? That's oneness consciousness, and that's dualistic consciousness, okay? Me and the other guy, okay? It's all about, the movement in society is all about equality. It's about freedom. It's about unity. It's about love. It's about compassion, okay? So what we're doing right now in this day and age is we're trying to shift from an egoic society to a love-based society. That's what we're trying to do. And it's messy, which is why there's so much chaos and confusion in the world, okay? So in order to understand the source of happiness, you have to understand who you are and who the ego is. But there's something else that you need to know, okay? We are moving here, which is fine. This is where we get eventually. This is the final outcome, because everybody returns to source. It's part of the plan, right? It's part of the master plan. You can't fail, right? There's no failure in this game, okay? So if you want to understand, if you really want to understand, you need to understand how this all fits together with that. Okay, everything that I teach, if you want to call me a teacher, is all about understanding the system. I really don't care what you do with it. Okay, I always kind of explain it like it's like understanding the laws of physics. You know, with the laws of physics, you can build houses for the homeless, and you can build atom bombs. Either one is fine by me. I would prefer you do one other than the other, but that's my personal preference. People are free to do whatever they want. I make no judgment on it. Okay? Now, so if I teach you this stuff, you can start to apply it. You can see the why and the how of things. And what you do with it is up to you. Okay? So, if you examine the entire substructure of the universe, okay, which is something I wanted to talk about today, we are this physical universe that we live in, okay? This physical universe that we live in. You know, if you talk to any of the mystics, like the non-dualists, people like Buddha and Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj and all these people who have experienced non-dual consciousness, which is unity consciousness, but I think they for some reason they call it in Hinduism it's referred to as Advaita, which literally means not two, or non-dual. Okay, it's this. What happened during my awakening was I saw that all things are one thing. Okay, because love and fear are the same thing. It's just varying degrees, right? Love is 100%. Fear is love at 0%. Separation is unity at 0%. Condemnation is compassion at 0%, right? So all these things that we experience that we build our society around is all just the absence of source. Okay? So we have to understand why we would do this and how we break out of this. Okay?